Hey everybody, welcome to the weekly news update for September 24th, 2017 on the Leek. I'm John as always, and as expected, there's really not that much news this week with the pre-release happening, but there is some quick little bits, and of course, story time. Up first, some sad news. The author of the popular Magic stick figure webcomic Cardboard Crack is taking a break from producing the comic. The comic has been sparsely updated over the past few months, and the author made a post that they felt they should have made months ago. Due to the pressure of work and family, they simply aren't able to produce comics on a regular schedule, and so they're stepping back from it entirely. There's no mention of how long this hiatus will last, but hopefully it's not the last that we've seen of the comic. The latest in the Friday Night's video series from Loading Ready Run went up last week, detailing the characters' preparation for the Ixalan pre-release by entering the wild and discovering their inner dinosaurs. For those not familiar, Friday Nights is a comedy video series made by Loading Ready Run that follows a cast of characters who are all extreme caricatures of the Loading Ready Run crew themselves, as they play and discuss all things magic. You can check it out over on the official Magic YouTube channel. An event was announced basically out of nowhere that sounds like it might be interesting and, shockingly, fun. And that's the Dino-Sized Draft Weekend. October 28th and 29th, check your local game store for the exact date they're doing it. Mine is doing it on the 28th. Will be the Dino-Sized Weekend where dino-sized drafts will take place. What are dino-sized drafts? They're drafts with 4 packs instead of 3. Not something I've ever done, and I probably won't want to do again, but I'll definitely be checking it out this time just for something different. Check with your store for pricing, but in addition to whatever the store is giving out as prizes, the winner will get an Ixalan mini poster that honestly looks really cool, and I'd like to have. It looks like a heavily stylized kind of late 80s, early 90s fantasy poster with various characters from Ixalan. Very cool, despite the Magic is serious business players that have been poo-pooing this prize, but nuts to them. I like fun things. It's strange to have fun with Magic, but I like fun things. Well, and that's about it for the news. So with the news out of the way, it's time for story time. As I always recommend, you should check out the story on dailymtg.com, especially this one, because I really enjoyed it, and I felt that Vraska went from being a one-dimensional character we knew very little about to being fully fleshed out in a single short story. But anyways, last week we hung out with Huatli a bit, but this week, in the talented Captain Vraska, we're back to Vraska finding Jace shipwrecked on the shore. First, though, we're given a little bit of a flashback to Vraska hanging out at home on Ravnica and finding an invitation to a place called Meditation Plane, a plane that we know to be created by and used by Nicol Bolas. It's in fact basically his meeting room for all of his various flunkies. Assuming it's someone wanting to hire her for her assassin abilities, she goes and visits and meets the dragon himself. Nicol Bolas does not want her assassin skills, he wants her cunning and leadership skills, using that leadership as a little bit of a carrot on a stick in a bit. Nicol Bolas wants Vraska to find an item, the Immortal Sun, that everyone on Ixalan is already seeking, and then alert his associate, presumably Tezzeret, maybe Ralzeric, who knows, to come and transport it away, probably Tezzeret as he is the planar portal now. In return, he offers her the position of the Guildmaster of the Golgari. Vraska, desperate to have that role, accepts, thinking that if things turn, she can simply double-cross the dragon. Bolas, of course reading her mind, tells her that no, you can't. Bolas gives her the thematic compass, which will lead her to the Golden City housing the Immortal Sun, as well as a full-on Matrix-style dump of information, but rather than learning Kung Fu, she learns sailing. With this compass and knowledge, she quickly gathers a crew on Ixalan that respects and follows her fully. Following the compass, she finds not the Golden City, but Jace on the shore. Upon waking, Jace has no idea who Vraska is, though he is rather awed by her skills and her presence. Vraska, due to her prior run-ins with Jace, would really like to just kill him, but as he has no idea who he is, she can't really bring herself to do it, as he's basically a stranger, which would go against her own moral compass as an assassin. Jace, acting like an adorable puppy dog throughout the story, joins her crew, at least until they're going to dock at the next port. However, they come upon a vampire ship. With Jace's help, they cloak their ship and take the ship by surprise. A relatively successful boarding follows, with the vampires caught completely off guard. Jace, in fact, assists, creating copies of himself to confuse and distract the captain, with Jace himself actually physically fighting beside Vraska and even landing punches on the captain. Very un-Jace-like, but very cool to hear happen. The captain, however, quickly figures out which Jace is real, grabs him, and is ready to bite down. Vraska jumps in, eyes full of magic, and turns him to stone, saving Jace. Jace is absolutely amazed by this ability and becomes just further adoring of Vraska, with Jace's abilities seemingly very valuable to her and her crew, and her fully accepting that he simply has no clue who he is or she is, offers him a spot on her crew permanently, which he accepts, saying, "I would love to." So that's going to wrap it up for story time and the weekly news update. Really wasn't too much going on this weekend, of course, because of the pre-release. I'm sure with release and etc., we'll get back to our normal news schedule. As always, let me know what you think about the news. Did you watch Friday nights? Did you find it funny, etc.? What you think of the story this week, where you think we're headed in the story, all of that, of course, you can let me know down below. If you do have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at @TheManaLeek. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at Facebook.com/TheManaLeek, Twitch.tv/TheManaLeek, and Patreon.com/TheManaLeek if you want to become a backer there, work your way towards earning a playmat, etc. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button. If you want to see more and you haven't already, click subscribe. And if you do have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.